Good morning, student. Myself, Dr. Yogesh Pating, Assistant Professor in Commerce, GS College of Commerce, Varda. From today, we are going to start unit number 2. In this particular unit number 2, we just have to study all those listed items that you are just going to see on your screen. Range, quartile deviation, mean deviation from mean deviation from median, mean deviation from mode, then standard deviation, skewness. Then within those problems, we just have to find out their coefficients also. So coefficient of range, coefficient of quartile deviation, coefficient of mean deviation, coefficient of standard deviation, coefficient of variance or variation. So in this unit number 3 about dispersion, these are the various methods of dispersion that are the part of our syllabus. As our practice in offline classes or in online classes, we generally cover each and every item of or each and every methods of dispersion, right from range to skewness and the coefficient of range to coefficient of variance. In particular, every method I try to go through what we can say, the series, the individual series, discrete series and continuous series, and try to solve the problem of each and every series, as it will give you a flavor how the problems of statistics has been there in this type of methods, and how we generally solve the problems in those 3 series, because each and every series has its own importance and application. So as a student, you should know how these methods of dispersion are being used. As we did in unit number 1, we had the experience of 3 series, individual, discrete and continuous, for mean, for median and for mode. Though we have some restrictions in this online methodology, online platform, but again we are trying our level best. I'm trying my level best to brief you about these statistics and business mathematics. We have to solve the MCQs in Rashtrasant Tukaji Maharaj Nagpur University summer 2021 examination. So it is up to you how you go through this, how deeply you go through this material, because your questions will be there right in these materials, in these notes. You just have to study it properly, and you have to face the examination. Again, you have to refer the notes, your books, textbooks or reference books that will ultimately help you to give you the answers for MCQs. So this way you have to study this particular subject, because in online delivery, in online platform, we have the restrictions for numerical subjects especially. It is very easy to interact with theoretical subject, but for a numerical subject, I think offline methodology is much better than online platforms. But again, we have to just cope with these restrictions, we have to work with these limitations, and that's why we are just having this way that I will share these notes and try to brief you, try to interact with you this particular topic. So as again I'm just going to repeat the things that there are 5 methods of dispersion as we have here: range, quartile deviation, mean deviation, standard deviation and skewness. Again, the same have their own coefficients: coefficient of range, coefficient of QD, coefficient of MD, coefficient of SD and skewness. Okay, coefficient of variation or variance. Now the first thing that we are going to start in this first lecture of unit number 2 is a range. As we know that range is actually distance between a starting point and the end point. As for example, if you want to say that what is the distance between Varda and Nagpur, then between Varda and Nagpur, then you will have a range in the starting point of Varda and the end point in Nagpur. So that is the difference between the first observation and the last observation. smallest observation and the largest observation, starting point and end point. The distance in between these 2 points is called as a range. So same logic is applicable here. So it is the difference between largest observation, as you are seeing here, and smallest observation. Okay, so this is called as a range. Now we just have to see the formula also. The formula is very simple, because this is a very simple point of this unit number 2 of dispersion, but again this is a part of a syllabus, that we have to go through it. So formula is L minus H or H minus S. You just have these two formulas here. L means largest value of X given series, S means smallest value, or H means highest value, or S means smallest value. So I hope you understand this point very well. We will move to the next slide. Now here, as that was a formula of range, now here you will see the formula of coefficient of range. The coefficient of range formula is L minus S divided by L plus S, or instead of L you can use H minus S divided by H plus S. Okay, so we had two formulas. The first one was this one, range L minus S or H minus S. This is a simple formula of range. Then we have here the formula of coefficient of range, L minus S divided by L plus S. Okay, so there are two formulas for you. Now we will start the problems. As we discussed earlier, we will have the problem on simple series, then we will have the problem on discrete series here, and then we will have the problem of continuous series here. Okay, so first we will go to the problem of simple series. Find out range and its coefficient from the given data. We have just a simple series here where the age is being given and we have to find the range between smallest and largest. So our formula is L minus S. Largest is 22 and smallest is 15. You will just see it just by only observation. So 22 minus 15 equals to 7. So the answer of range is 7. Now again we have to find out coefficient of range also. So coefficient of range L minus S divided by L plus S. 22 minus 15, 22 plus 15. So the answer is 0.19. So the answer is 0.19 of coefficient of range. So I hope you understand this point very well, problem very well. Here also the same problem is being explained. Here you have to find out the range and coefficient of range. Okay, now we will move to the problem of discrete series. Here again we have to find out the range and coefficient of range, but again we have here height and number of students, frequencies being given to that particular data set, because this problem is of discrete series. So again here we have to find out the we have to solve the problems. Here this range L, the largest is 60 and the smallest is 48. Same thing applied here for discrete series. 60 minus 48 equals to 12, and coefficient of range L minus S divided by L plus S. 60 minus 48 divided by 60 plus 48 equals to 0.11. Okay, for a continuous series, below 150, 155, 160, 165, 170, 175, 180, and number of students. Range L minus S here 180 minus S equals to 35, and coefficient of range L minus S divided by L plus S. 180 minus 145, 180 plus 145, the answer is 0.11. This is the answer, 0.11 here. Again this is again one problem here, example number 5. Find out the range and its coefficient. Here 10 to 14, 15 to 19, 20 to 24, 25 to 29, 30 to 34, 35 to 39. The series is being then actually it's exclusive series, so it is being rearranged here 9.5 to 14.5, because you just have to make it a continuous series. There is a need to take it as a continuous series. There is a slightly printing mistake here. Okay, but again we will see this thing here. Find out the range and its coefficient. So now this series is being converted into exclusive series, and this is the number of person. Now range, largest is 39.5 minus the smallest is 9.5, so the answer is 30. Coefficient of range, 39.5 minus 9.5 divided by 39.5 minus 9 plus 9.5, so it will be 0.61. Okay. Again, there is also one problem here. We have here mid values and number of shops. We just have to convert that series in a continuous series, so we did here just to make it an exclusive series. Here the L1 and L2. The smallest is largest is 3125 and the smallest is 1375. The answer is 1750, and here coefficient of range is 0.39. So these are the problems of range. Very simple problem. There is only a slightly printing mistake in problem number example number 4 of this continuous series, but again we had the problems of example number 5 and example number 6, where I think you understand this concept very well. So this way we have to see the range and coefficient of range. In next lecture we will go through the second second method of dispersion, that is quartile division, that will go in our next lecture. So I hope you understand this concept of range very well. It's very simple. Just we have to find the range and coefficient of range. Thank you.